Deeply dear viewers, I welcome you to a channel dedicated to deep reflection and the search for truth in a world that seems to be rapidly losing touch with silence. Today we will touch on a topic that for many is colored in somber tones, causes anxiety, and sometimes shame. A topic that we are used to associating with something negative, with absence, with emptiness. We are going to talk about loneliness. For most of us, the word loneliness conjures up images of isolation, longing, unwanted detachment from society. It is associated with abandonment, with someone who was not chosen, with someone who could not fit in. Modern society seems obsessed with the idea of constant connection, continuous communication, and indispensable presence in other people's lives and other people's events. We are afraid of missing out on something important. The so-called missed out syndrome, or FOMO. We are constantly online, our fingers automatically reaching for the phone as soon as there is a free minute to fill any possible pause in the flow of information. Silence has become something frightening, something to run from. But what if I told you that this notion of loneliness is deeply flawed? What if the real source of discomfort lies not in loneliness itself, but in our inability and unwillingness to be alone with ourselves? What if loneliness is not a curse, but a gift, not an absence, but a presence, not an emptiness, but a space to be filled? In this video essay, we will journey through the world of solitude, a world that has long been cherished by thinkers, creators, and spiritual seekers. We will debunk the myths that surround the concept of solitude and show how conscious, voluntary solitude can be one of the most powerful tools for self-discovery, unlocking creativity, deep recuperation, and, paradoxically, for building a more genuine and fulfilling relationship with the world and others. Prepare to revise your perceptions. Prepare to hear not the outside noise, but your own inner voice. This is a time to hear yourself. Now that we've defined the terms, let's explore why conscious solitude is not just a luxury, but a vital practice in today's information-overloaded world. Increased self-knowledge and introspection. Section 1. Solitude versus loneliness. A key difference. Before we delve into the benefits of solitude, it is critical to draw a clear distinction between two concepts that are often used synonymously in Russian, but have completely different meanings. Solitude and loneliness. This is not just a semantic exercise, it is the foundation for understanding our entire topic today. Loneliness is an unwanted, painful feeling of social isolation, emotional or social alienation, and lack of meaningful connections. It is a state in which a person feels disconnected from the world, even if he is in a crowd. He or she may be surrounded by people, yet feel a deep longing for belonging, for understanding, for emotional intimacy. Loneliness is a passive state, often accompanied by sadness, anxiety, and even depression. It is a sign of an unmet social need. It is something people want to get rid of. Solitude, on the other hand, is a completely different phenomenon. It is a voluntary, conscious choice of a person to seclude himself, to withdraw from external stimuli and social interactions for a certain period of time. It is an active act, a deliberate creation of space for inner work. It is not the absence of society, but the presence of self. There is no sense of isolation or lack in solitude. On the contrary, there is a sense of completeness, self-sufficiency, and the ability to delve deeply into one's thoughts and experiences. It is a powerful resource for self-discovery, creativity, and restoration. Great philosophers throughout the ages have emphasized this difference. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, an Enlightenment thinker, spent much time in solitude, finding it a source of inspiration and clarity of thought. Friedrich Nietzsche, who proclaimed the value of philosophical solitude, believed that it was in solitude that truly profound ideas, free from herd mentality, were born. Arthur Schopenhauer argued that a person who enjoys solitude has a great resource in himself. Thus, we are not talking about social isolation, but about conscious solitude. We are talking about the time we voluntarily give ourselves to reboot, reflect, create, and truly hear our inner voice. Section 2. Benefits of conscious solitude. Imagine a room full of people talking at the same time. Would you be able to hear your own voice clearly? Hardly. This is what happens to us in the midst of constant information noise and continuous social interactions. We are constantly absorbing external information, the opinions of others, news, demands, expectations. Our brains operate in external data processing mode. Conscious solitude creates space for silence. And in that silence, psychologists say, our inner voice finally becomes audible. It is a time for introspection, self-observation, analyzing our own thoughts, feelings, motives, and experiences. Without this inner dialogue, we risk living on autopilot, reacting to external stimuli without understanding the true reasons for our actions and emotions. In the silence of solitude, we can ask ourselves fundamental questions. What do I really want? What is really important to me? Why do I feel this way? Where am I moving in life? What values drive my decisions? These are not just questions, they are keys to self-identity. Regular moments of solitude allow us to process recent experiences, reflect on events that have happened, learn lessons, and form our own unique picture of the world, free from imposed patterns. Research in psychology shows that the practice of reflection, self-reflection, is directly linked to increased emotional intelligence and overall well-being. Keeping a journal alone, meditating, taking long walks without companions are all powerful tools for deepening self-knowledge. Developing creativity and innovation. Human history is full of examples of how the greatest breakthroughs in art, science, and philosophy were born in moments of solitude. Consider Isaac Newton, who, secluded on his estate during the plague, formulated the laws of universal gravitation and developed the foundations of differential and integral calculus. Or Albert Einstein, whose boldest ideas often came to him during lonely walks or deep reflections. Why is solitude so conducive to creativity? Because creativity requires deep concentration and freedom from distractions. Social interactions, even the most pleasant ones, inevitably interrupt the flow of thoughts, disrupting the mind-wandering process that is so important for the emergence of new ideas. In solitude, the brain is given the freedom to explore, to connect unrelated concepts, to experiment with ideas without fear of judgment or the need to explain one's thoughts as they form. The writer Virginia Woolf, in her essay, A Room of One's Own, advocated the idea that it is essential for a creative woman, or any creative person, to have not only money, but also her own space and time for solitude, so that thoughts can flow freely and materialize into works. Modern neuroscientific research shows that to generate insights and new solutions, the brain needs not only active problem solving, but also periods of rest or incubation when the conscious mind is distracted from the task, allowing the subconscious mind to work on it. Solitude provides ideal conditions for such incubation, allowing non-linear, intuitive thinking to come to the forefront. Second, time spent alone helps us appreciate the value of our relationships. When we return from solitude, our social interactions are received fresher, with more appreciation and attention. We are less distracted by our own internal conflicts because we have had time to work through them. We become more attentive listeners, more empathic conversationalists, because our emotional reservoir is fuller. The paradox is this: the less we depend on others for our happiness, the more genuine, deep, and healthy our relationships become. We come into communication not with a sense of need, but with a sense of fullness, ready to share rather than take. This makes us better partners, friends, colleagues, and parents, restore energy and reduce stress. We live in a world of ever-increasing social demands. Whether it's work, family, friends, or simply socializing on social media, every interaction, even positive ones, requires cognitive and emotional energy from us. Our brains are constantly processing nonverbal cues, interpreting intentions, choosing appropriate responses. This is a tremendous strain on the nervous system. Imagine a battery that is constantly discharging but never fully recharged. This is a metaphor for our nervous system in the midst of constant social noise. Conscious solitude is about recharging. It is a time when we can completely relax without worrying about how we are perceived, what we have to say, or what impression we are making. Solitude lowers levels of stress hormones such as cortisol. Our heart rate calms down and our breathing becomes deeper and more measured. The brain switches into what is called default mode network, which is activated when we are not focused on the outside world. This mode is important for self-reflection, planning for the future, and forming memories. For introverts whose energy is expended from social interactions and replenished in solitude, it's especially important. But even extroverts who draw energy from socializing need moments of solitude for deep recovery and information processing. Without these pauses, we risk emotional burnout, chronic fatigue, and elevated stress levels, improving the quality of social interactions. It may seem paradoxical. How can loneliness improve social interactions? However, the connection is direct and profound. When we take time for ourselves on a regular basis, we become more whole and self-sufficient individuals. First, solitude allows us to better understand our own needs and boundaries. If we don't know ourselves, we risk either dissolving into relationships or constantly demanding that others fill our inner emptiness. A person who doesn't know how to be happy in private often seeks validation of their worth in others, becoming dependent on others' approval. This leads to unhealthy, codependent relationships. Society often tends to stigmatize those who prefer solitude. Is he a misanthrope? Does he not like people? Questions like these can arise. Disclaimer: solitude is not a sign of disliking people or antisocial behavior. Rather, it is a sign of a deep inner life and the need for it. Many great thinkers, artists, and scientists were known for their love of solitude, but it didn't make them strange or aloof. It allowed them to delve deeply into their ideas. For example, Henry David Thoreau, the author of Walden, was a prime example of someone who consciously chose solitude to live a more meaningful life, but still actively socialized with like-minded people and was part of a community. Solitude is not a lack of social skills, but a conscious choice that allows us to experience both our inner and outer worlds more deeply, developing self-reliance and confidence. In today's world, where teamwork is constantly pushed, where decisions are often made collectively, and opinions are shaped by the group, the ability to rely on oneself and be confident in one's abilities becomes especially valuable. Practicing solitude develops emotional resilience and self-reliance. When we are deprived of our usual external sources of entertainment, advice, or support, we are forced to turn to our inner resources. We learn to find joy in the little things, develop our own entertainment, make decisions without outside help, and deal with our own emotions without immediate external distraction. This develops a powerful sense of competence. I can cope. I can be happy and productive on my own. This doesn't mean refusing help or advice from others, but it does mean that we do it by choice, not necessity. The confidence born out of the ability to be alone with ourselves carries over to social interactions. We become less susceptible to peer pressure, more confident in our beliefs, and more able to assert our boundaries. This is the foundation of true freedom. Myths and misconceptions about loneliness. Despite the obvious benefits, loneliness is still surrounded by many misconceptions. Let's debunk the most common ones. Myth 1. Solitude equals selfishness. Solitude is often perceived as abdicating responsibilities to others, as a manifestation of self-centeredness. You're only thinking about yourself, may be uttered to someone who regularly disconnects. Refutation. In fact, the opposite is true. As we've discussed, self-discovery and recovery in solitude allow us to be more generous, mindful, and effective in our relationships with others. It's impossible to truly give if your own reservoir is empty. Time alone with ourselves makes us more of a resource for our loved ones, more capable of empathy, and less prone to emotional burnout in service to others. It's not selfishness, it's mindful self-care that ultimately benefits everyone around us. Myth 2. Loneliness equals antisocial or weird. Society often tends to stigmatize those who prefer solitude. Is he a misanthrope? Doesn't he like people? Such questions may arise. Refutation. Solitude is not a sign of disliking people or antisocial behavior. Rather, it is a sign of deep inner life and the need for it. Many great thinkers, artists, and scientists were known for their love of solitude, but that didn't make them weird or aloof. It allowed them to delve deeply into their ideas. For example, Henry David Thoreau, author of Walden, was a prime example of someone who deliberately chose solitude to live a more meaningful life, but still actively socialized with like-minded people and was part of a community. Solitude is not a lack of social skills, but a conscious choice that allows us to experience both our inner and outer worlds more deeply. Myth 3. Loneliness is a sign of failure in one's personal life. If a person is lonely, many people believe that he or she has either failed to find a mate or has no friends. Refutation. This is one of the most harmful misconceptions. We are talking about conscious loneliness, which is a choice, not a compulsion. A person can be happily married, have many friends and an active social life, but still consciously set aside time for solitude. Moreover, as we have discussed, practicing solitude can paradoxically improve the quality of our personal lives, making us more whole and less dependent on partners for our own happiness. Being happy alone is a sign of inner strength, not weakness or failure. Section 4. How to practice conscious solitude in the modern world. We live in an age of constant connectivity, so how do we find a place of solitude in this flurry of information and demands? It takes effort and intentionality, but it is worth it. Allocate sacred time. Schedule a retreat. Take time for yourself as seriously as you would a meeting with an important client or close friend. Schedule it on your calendar. It could be 15 minutes in the morning before the household wakes up, an hour in the evening after work, or a few hours on the weekend. Start small. The key is regularity and intentionality. Protect that time. Digital detox. Disconnect from the net. This is perhaps the hardest step, but also the most important. Turn off notifications, put your phone away, close your browser tabs. Give yourself permission to be unavailable to the world for this brief but precious period. The world won't collapse without your likes and comments for an hour. Activity in loneliness, what to do? You don't have to just sit around and be bored. Solitude is an opportunity for a deep dive. Nature walks. No headphones, no phone. Just walk and observe the world around you, your thoughts. Reading. Immerse yourself in a book that requires concentration rather than rapid consumption of information. Meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness practices can help you focus on the present moment, on your breathing, on your sensations. Journaling. Get your thoughts and feelings down on paper. It's a powerful tool for self-discovery. Creativity. Draw, write, play a musical instrument, knit. Anything that allows you to express yourself without external pressure. Cooking. Focus on the process, the flavors, the tactile sensations. Bathing or grooming. It's not just hygiene, it's a ritual of self-care. Create your own room, physical or mental. It can literally be a private room, a cozy corner, or even just a park bench where you feel protected and free from interruptions. If there is no physical space, create a mental room. Set internal boundaries, so that even in the presence of others, you can withdraw into yourself for short periods of time. Don't be afraid of discomfort. Initial attempts at solitude may cause restlessness, boredom, or even anxiety. Our brains, used to constant stimulation, may resist silence. This is normal. Simply observe these sensations without judging them. Over time, as you practice, the discomfort will be replaced by peace and a deep sense of calm. It's like a muscle. It needs to be practiced. We have come a long way from conventional wisdom about loneliness to understanding its deep value. We have learned that loneliness is not a curse, but a conscious choice that opens the door to one's true self. We became convinced that conscious solitude is a path to deep self-knowledge and introspection, a powerful catalyst for creativity and innovation, an effective way to restore energy and reduce stress, a paradoxical tool for improving the quality of our social connections, a tool for developing autonomy and inner confidence. This is not a call to reclusiveness or isolation. On the contrary, it is a call for balance, to integrate moments of silence and solitude into our daily lives so that we can live more meaningfully, be more aware, and be more fully present in each moment, both alone and with others. Give yourself permission to be alone. Let go of the fear of being different, of being boring or a failure. Instead, imagine that you are giving yourself the most precious gift of all, time to hear your own unique inner voice. What will you hear when the outside noise is hushed? What inspiration will come to you in the silence? What discoveries will you make about yourself if you just give yourself this space? We encourage you to not just listen to this video, but to put this knowledge into practice. Try to set aside at least 15 minutes for yourself today. No phone, no distractions. Just be. Begin your own journey into the world of conscious solitude. Share in the comments, how do you use solitude in your life? Or how might you begin to appreciate it? What discoveries did you make when you ventured into solitude? If this video made you think, if it gave you a new perspective, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with others who might benefit from it. Together we can redefine the values of today's world. Thank you for being with us. See you again in the world of deep meanings.